Pakistan banned its far-right Islamic party Tehreek-e-Labbaik on Thursday, days after the party clashed with the Punjab police over a solidarity march for Palestine. Now, while most Pakistanis celebrated the move, saying that the country is healing rapidly, there were a few skeptics who called it a staged drama. Hello and welcome to The Print. We are back with what is trending in Pakistan for this segment of Go to Pakistan. Now, among the skeptics was Pakistani independent journalist Ahmed Noorani, who is now in exile, who wrote on Twitter that it is practically impossible to permanently eliminate religious terrorist organizations like the TLP or TTP without also ending the Pakistani army's illegitimate rule and occupation. Such a move would lead to the complete collapse of the Pakistan army. Therefore, it is not possible, and all of this is certainly a staged drama to achieve short term objectives. Yasir Latif Hamdani, who is a Pakistani lawyer and activist, told The Print that TLP is a religious group that arose in the aftermath of the Mumtaz Qadri assassination. The establishment found the group useful in cutting down Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz or PMLN's vote in 2017 and onwards because PMLN had the same Barelvi vote bank. Imran Khan too had tried to ban them in 2021, but the establishment of that time had advised against it, arguing that they could still be useful against PMLN. According to Hamdani, the door has now been closed on TLP, and this is a sustainable move because there seems to be a genuine concern in the Pakistani army about the levels of the Barelvi radicalization, which was evidenced by a recruitment test for lower level employees of an intelligence agency, when 95% of the respondents said that it was good that Mumtaz Qadri had then killed Salman Taseer. Hamdani also added that he thinks that when the alarm bells began to ring in the Pakistani army because they may be cynical but they are not made of zealots, that is when Field Marshal Asim Munir, who is now being feted around the world with even Trump calling him his favorite field marshal, decided to ban the group because he has an image to maintain. Hamdani said, and I quote, "Even without that, Munir, being a Hafiz-e-Quran himself, is not easily impressed or is in awe of the mullahs, and that too is a factor in his push to drive down a dangerous radical group like TLP." Now, the TLP has been deemed notorious for its hardline rhetoric and sweeping blasphemy allegations, including street agitation and violence, and was previously banned in 2021, as mentioned earlier. But this prohibition was lifted 6 months later following negotiations with the government. The latest decision, taken Thursday at a federal cabinet meeting chaired by Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, came on the recommendation of the Punjab provincial government under the country's Anti Terrorism Act of 1997. The Prime Minister's office said that the cabinet had unanimously approved the move after reviewing evidence of TLP's involvement in what it described as violent and terrorist activities. Now, under Pakistan's constitution, the final decision to dissolve a political party rests with the Supreme Court. The government is expected to now refer its declaration to the court within 15 days, but Thursday's decision does mark the second time that Pakistan has formally moved to outlaw the group. Before the move, Pakistan cybercrime authorities on Thursday had detained more than 100 social media activists who are affiliated with TLP for posting inflammatory content online. The latest confrontation between the government and the group erupted earlier this month when thousands of TLP supporters launched what they called a Gaza Solidarity March from Lahore to Islamabad and pledged to stage a sit in outside the US Embassy. Authorities then blocked highways, deployed military forces, and prevented the marchers from advancing. Muradke, a town just north of Lahore, became the flashpoint. Over several days of unrest, at least one police officer and several protesters were killed, and local media reported that TLP's chief, Hafiz Saad Hussain Rizvi, was critically injured. Till date, his whereabouts remain unclear. Punjab authorities claim that he and his brother fled to Pakistan occupied Kashmir, while TLP leaders insist that he is in custody. On Friday, Pakistan Interior Ministry even notified the ban, declaring the religio-political party a proscribed organization under the Anti-Terrorism Act. Now here's a catch. Most experts in Pakistan are still unconvinced of the ban's efficacy. According to Pakistani lawyer and ICJ jurist Reema Omar, proscribing an organization under Anti-Terrorism Act is actually different from banning or dissolving a political party under the Elections Act or under the Constitution. Now, the TLP is an enlisted political party with the Election Commission of Pakistan, so merely proscribing it under the Anti-Terrorism Act is problematic both legally and strategically. Political economist Niaz Murtaza agreed and called it a ban without a ban. He wrote on Twitter that this is called banning without banning to fool people. Announce loudly that we have banned it, but ban it under the wrong act so that it actually remains unbanned. Until and unless TLP is banned under the Elections Act via the Supreme Court, it does remain unbanned. Now, what happened was that on 17th October, post the violent clashes, the Maryam Nawaz led Punjab government had moved to seek federal authorization to outlaw the party. Many Pakistanis had then also appreciated her move, and while she is generally criticized for her acts of governance, she is now being labeled the Lioness of Punjab. But not everyone shares the same sentiments. On Thursday, a Pakistani man slit his aunt's throat over blasphemy charges. Sharing the news, filmmaker and rights activist Ali Raza said that you may ban the TLP, but what they have preached has not only reached to our working class, but also to our intelligence officers, police, and politicians. How do you undo that? Former commandant of Pakistan's frontier constabulary Abdul Majid Khan Marwat called out Pakistan's history of creating such forces for short term advantages and said that the TLP and its likes are like genies that refuse to go back in their bottle. He wrote that history is full of examples where these creations, once unleashed, turned into monsters that could not be contained. The same demons that we summon for short term advantages eventually grow into genies that refuse to go back into their bottles. This is Devdatta for the print. Stay tuned for more such videos.